Remember that time when we did mushrooms and we got really stoned and we came out of Taylor and a Shania Twain concert had just let out? And we were like, we got to get the hell out of here.
Welcome to the Dinnernet with Mark and Meg, the official podcast of The Mountain Being Out.
Aw, that's so cute. I saw it earlier.
Yeah.
My guests today are Joey and Gillian Diedrick, owners of SennzaFinne, an Amari producer and tasting room in Inner Bay. Welcome, you guys.
Thank you.
Welcome to the spot.
Welcome to the cellar.
This is the spot.
Welcome to the cellar.
Thank you.
Get in the cellar. They're making a podcast.
Yeah. It looks so much nicer now that we're recording here, like by the window and the
By the
plants.
window with actual natural sunlight, yeah.
It's lovely.
Although sometimes we get like weird people like hankering outside, poking, like looking in the windows, trying to see if we're open. We're going to serve them oysters. We're not going to.
They're curious.
We do look like a fun group that people would want to hang out with.
They're jealous. That's what it is.
What's going on in there?
It's part of the general tableau. It's kind of like those, that website. I can't remember the URL of it, but there were these cameras set that people could set up their webcams and broadcast all around the world. And you'd see out their window.
Yeah.
Like that's the vibe I get out this window here.
Yeah. It's just the churn.
Yeah.
How are you guys doing? How was your week? You did a little traveling,
A little traveling. Yeah,
some
we had
intentional, some accidental.
Yeah.
Are you guys okay? That was a pregnant pause.
Yeah, no, we're good. A little impromptu trip down to Portland.
Yeah.
What were you doing there?
We
Delivering the product.
delivering some products.
That sounds illicit.
Importantly.
I know, it always does sound illicit.
Yeah.
Just an order of some of our Amaro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Gotta give the
reached
people
out.
what they want.
Yeah. Did you guys get a chance
They're
to?
thirsty.
Yeah. Did you guys get a chance to party in Portland and get some good food and drink, or was it just?
We did. We stayed one night at the lovely Hoxton Hotel, which was amazing. Great customer service, and we
Ran around
we did
town,
bounce
got
around.
some snacks.
We visited some existing accounts, said hi to some people that support us out there, and then we also went to some
Couple new places. Yeah.
We went to Voysey, who's an account of ours there.
Okay. What's it like? Is it a bar?
Yeah,
It's kind of like a speakeasy underneath like a pub sort
Okay,
of thing.
I like
and
that.
You're like, I'm not in
fantastic.
the right place. And then you go downstairs and you're like,
I am in the right place.
A true speakeasy in that case.
Yeah,
It's
we love it there.
gorgeous.
We visited the whiskey library?
Yeah, the Multnomah Whiskey Library.
Oh, I've always wanted to go to that.
Yeah.
It's
High on my
gorgeous
to-do
in
list,
there.
yeah.
It was
Posh
our
and
first time.
bougie and well appointed.
Good.
I like the term whiskey library.
I like the term well appointed.
Yeah.
It was very well appointed.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Yeah.
a place you look around and you're like, I don't want to leave here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Want to hang out with the whiskey
It's very
librarians.
comfortable.
Yeah. Check out
Really-
some whiskeys.
Yes.
Really good time there.
Yeah.
And then we came home and we had some more good times here.
Yeah.
We kind of eaten
We try
around
to always
town.
have good
It's
times.
never ending good times with you two, right?
Yeah. Well, it's rolling into my birthday week, so you know,
Yeah.
gotta stretch it.
Yeah,
So,
nice.
Yeah.
This is a good way to kick that off.
Do you have do you have plans for your birthday?
We do have plans.
Yeah.
Gillian is in possession of those plans.
Oh, nice.
I see.
We
Romantic.
had some dinner planned.
Yeah.
Nice.
You can't be broadcasting them on the
Yeah, I
podcast
know.
for people to crash,
Well, I think
right?
this
And
will
I'm just not
actually
allowed
run
to look at her phone
on
while
his
we-
birthday or the day after. So
Yeah.
no one can crash it. It'll be in history by then.
That's true.
Yeah. Mark, how was your week? And
It was good. Last at the start of the week, I went to the Bad Chancla 1 year anniversary.
nice. Good.
So yeah,
their birthday week,
congratulations.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Congratulations to them. They had a bunch of bites they're giving out for free. They set up a little karaoke speaker.
cute.
I heard the legendary Dan Doan sing karaoke.
finally,
Yeah.
how was it?
He's fantastic. He's a
Good.
killer singer.
What did
Yeah.
he sing?
He sang Neon Moon.
Oh, wonderful. I love that one.
Yeah.
Good.
I got to harmonize with him a little bit on that. It was fun.
Nice. Very good.
Entirely too much. And
What
then,
did you eat?
he had Ropa
hot
Vieja
dogs.
bowls
Oh, nice.
and picadillo bowls, just really like small little samples you could just take. And he was just
Good.
coming out, and you could just grab whatever you wanted. It was really fun.
Good party.
Yeah. And then I also went up to Bothell to celebrate my dad's birthday.
Oh,
So,
it's everyone's birthday.
yeah, happy
Gemini
birthday, Pop.
season.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not that I believe in that, but if I did, boy, it would be Gemini season.
Well, we are Gemini, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same birthday as Joey, actually. It's
Yeah.
truly on the 5th.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, beautiful.
Nice.
You attract them.
I do.
I guess they attract you because your dad existed before you. You did not
That's
attract
true,
your
yeah.
dad.
Order of
Very good.
operations. Yeah.
Very good.
How was your weekend, Meg?
I really didn't do much. I
you
like worked in the garden. We went, so Stephen and I apparently are like old people who hang out at a plant nursery lately. Like we enjoy it. We're like, yeah, let's go down to the plant nursery and dropped $100 on like flowers. I'm trying to rehab my lawn. I killed the lawn intentionally, and I'm trying to just make it flowers. So that's not very interesting.
I don't know.
But it is what I did.
It's a big deal having a garden. It's impressive.
It was like a strong auntie vibe this weekend.
Yeah, I love that.
Practice the piano. I learned to play Virtual Insanity by Jamiroquai on the piano, which is horribly stuck in my head today. That's really about it. I walked around Pioneer Square with Bess on Thursday or Friday, and we co-worked as we often do and walked through the square and saw some murals and took some selfies. And we stopped by the Populous Hotel and checked out all the architecture. They have those indoor gardens and the solarium, and that was really nice too.
Did you two go to Folio to co-work?
We went to Folio.
I love Folio.
Briefly. Yeah, there's a secret library inside. Speaking of whiskey libraries.
Yeah.
There's a whiskey-free, I believe, library. Kind of by Pasta Casalinga upstairs in Pike Place Market. I'm trying to think of how you would describe it.
Yeah, it's like above the atrium.
Yeah, on the third floor.
Is that the one that's like around the corner from Tenzing Momo?
Yes, exactly.
Place.
Yeah, and it's a private library, and my buddy Bess has a membership, and so we co-work there sometimes because I get to be her guest.
Yeah.
And it's just a beautiful little space. Sometimes they do readings there. They actually do events there pretty often.
Yeah, they're cool.
Yeah, and they have a grand piano, so we hung out in there too.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
My favorite thing they have there is this collection of old Seattle mags. Mm-hmm. So like from the 60s.
Yeah,
you can just flip through them and see all the old Rainier beer ads. And, and the really weird articles that were written back then. Like you're just sort of like, whoa.
What the fuck are they talking about?
Yeah, like this.
Lots of Emmett Watsoning going on in there, like fucking Californians.
Oh my God, yes.
Lots of lesser Seattling at the Folio.
Love it. Well, you two, let's talk about SennzaFinne.
Who even are you?
Who even are you? What is SennzaFinne?
Well, we're husband and wife. We've been bartending a long time, and I feel like SennzaFinne for us was just kind of a distillation of a number of different things that we wanted to do.
A distillation. I love it.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
I get it.
We really want it. We've been working in restaurants, ingredients coming in and out of season, and you kind of change your cocktail menu to accommodate that. And we just felt like, how come no one's put the flavor or essence of a season in a bottle? And so it was like one part we wanted to celebrate the Pacific Northwest, but another part we wanted to make a bunch of amari that work great in cocktails. SennzaFinne was kind of our, I guess, cheeky way of inserting our love story without being necessarily too over heavy-handed with it. SennzaFinne means without end.
In Italian.
Yeah, in Italian. Yeah. Another way to say I love you. So kind of a nod to traditional Italian Amaro. And
And you
can't really get away from us being all googly for each other.
No, I've noticed.
Yeah. Well,
they're staring into each other's eyes as they speak on the podcast.
At you
They're also wearing the same sunglasses, sort of. They're similar.
You got to see the YouTube video of this episode because they look very glamorous too.
Yeah, they do.
Well, yeah, since it's so integral to the love story, maybe let's talk about that first. Like, how did you guys meet?
Yeah.
We met through mutual friends back in 2012.
Yeah.
I was actually staying with, this gets a little confusing. I was staying with Joey's cousin's boyfriend at the time, and I was getting ready to move to Austin, Texas. So I was leaving the state, and Joey was actually dating somebody, so we just met as friends.
And Facebook friends.
And we became Facebook friends
as we did back then. Yeah.
And we stayed Facebook friends for about a year, and then Joey got dumped.
Aw.
Yeah, as it happens.
Best thing that ever happened to you.
Amen.
And I remembered how gorgeous he was, and I was single in Austin, and so I started flirting with him, and
you slid into his DMs.
I slipped into his DMs.
So you were in Texas,
hardcore.
Remembering this man you met before you moved away. Wow.
Yeah.
She had been planning to come back to town. We're like, hey, we'll get the band back together and like go out for a party or something. And then those plans fell through. And so then we had been kind of in contact recently, and it's like, oh, by the way,
cute.
I'm single. That didn't last long. We called what was it? My internet girlfriend and your internet boyfriend.
Yeah, we started dating long distance. He was like, will you go out with me?
On the internet. Will you go into this chat room with me?
Will you be my girlfriend? And so we were in a relationship for about 52 days or so before he flew out to Austin to actually like be with me.
Cute. And
we thought, there was definitely a chance where it could have been just complete fantasy of ours, and we could have kissed for the first time, and it would have been like, no sparks whatsoever, and we would have just gone bowling and had a fun weekend together and been like, okay, say la vie, we gave it a shot, but that wasn't the case at all.
Turns out the naysayers were right.
We were completely just smitten from the first day. We've been married almost 11 years now.
Gorgeous.
And
you got married right away.
Right after that first kiss, that was confirmed it for both of us. And so I was like, okay, cool. I'm gonna propose to her. How am I gonna propose to her? And so a childhood friend of mine was getting married in Tuscany that fall. And so we had planned to go to the wedding, and I had lived in Florence for a couple of years. And so we went to the wedding first, and then it was Gillian's first time in Italy. So I said, let's just camp out in Florence for the week and just slow down, not worry about seeing too many things and just hang out. And so I proposed pretty early into that week. And so we kind of spent the rest of it just celebrating.
With Amaro, lots and lots of Amaro.
Lots of Amaro.
Ran all over
Foreshadowing.
Amaro in the morning, Amaro in the afternoon,
Gorgeous.
Amaro in the evening.
And to this day.
I mean, everywhere you go, in the morning, nobody looks at you sideways when you're getting Amaro alongside your
9:30.
pastry.
Yeah, we were two bartenders who definitely had a love of lots of different categories, and that trip kind of consolidated the idea that we both really love Amaro.
Mm-hmm. Had you both imagined making your own before that? Had you tried to make your own, either of you?
We hadn't tried to make our own Amaro. And jumping forward to, working in the restaurants we were working in when we started thinking up SennzaFinne, I was working at Eden Hill on Queen Anne, and Joey was working at How to Cook a Wolf. And we were making our own infusions and liqueurs and tinctures. And I was kind of, in charge of the non-alcoholic beverage program at Eden Hill. So I was working with a lot of botanicals and things, and Chef Maximilian Petty, everything was seasonal. We got tons of produce in, and if he used it in the kitchen, we used it behind the bar. So it was we got a bunch of lovage, we got a bunch of this, these plants, these flowers, use them behind the bar. So I was always making different infusions of things, and Joey was too. And so around, I think it was 2019, we were out at the coast where we go every year. We've gone pretty much, other than COVID when we couldn't go.
Washington Coast.
Coast.
La Push.
Nice.
Yeah, specifically
Beautiful.
La Push. And that's when we kind of just were talking about the future and what we wanted to do. And my body had kind of had enough as far as physically bartending. And I was like, we should come up with a plan. We need to figure out what we want to do with our lives. We've been creating and making things together since Day one, pretty much. If you see our house, it's almost all of our furniture we've made together. We built a trailer together. Everything.
You made a trailer?
Yeah.
Only God can make a trailer. I don't understand how you make a trailer. What?
For our honeymoon.
The metal part of the trailer we bought. Okay. The rest of it, the housing of it, we built.
Wow. Whoa, that was a game changer in my brain. I can make a trailer?
Yeah, I think I had an idea that you two were major makers, but I think that exceeds my
level.
Understanding of your
I'm gonna make a trailer. Shit. Yeah. These guys did it
together.
Yeah.
It's not always the most perfect situation. We've pulled each other's hair out a couple times, but it always turns out beautifully, and we talked it out. And there were a couple other things that were on the table, but Amaro was definitely a major contender. And so we started playing around with some recipes and
some sort of channeling our creative energies. And then also, we bartended for 20 years. There are things that it really worked for us, and finding a way to share things with people.
Your brain is an Amaro library, a whiskey library.
So one way to work together, make things together, share things with other people, and just kind of take that creative spark and hopefully pass it on to it inspires somebody else to make something else or to do something else. And
when did you start SennzaFinne?
2019.
Yeah, thereabouts.
Yeah, we formed that LLC June 10th.
Yeah.
This guy knows.
2019. Well, I have to type that
your
in.
birthday,
So
your birthday week.
You've seen the Excel sheet that has that information on it over and over.
Yeah.
And then all the lovely human beings that we'd been, serving drinks and things to over the years at those two restaurants all pulled together and basically gave us this little golden nugget of funds to move into a workspace and get the business off the ground.
And when did you open the tasting room?
Our first original space on 42nd and Leary. We moved in there in 2020.
We finished our first round of production right at the end of 2021. Mm-hmm. So November 2021, but it was totally just private. Like if you reached out and like, yeah, we'll show up to the space, roll up the door, let you in, close it. But it was 300 square feet. So you're kind of just like, and the tour's over.
It was legal though. We just didn't have any advertising or anything.
Yeah.
Sure.
It was
other
a tiny
than
little
Instagram.
space.
Yeah.
And then 2 years ago, we moved everything over to the space we're in now.
Yeah.
And
Inner Bay.
yeah, in Inner Bay.
Yeah. Thorndike? Just for people at home.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Right by the tracks down there, Thorndike, 3401 Thorndike Avenue West.
Yeah.
Yeah, and all of our like regulars who knew, like when we were working across the street from each other, like, oh, like you guys are so cute. You're both bartenders. You should open a bar together. And we're like, that's not what we're thinking of doing. We don't want to do that. And we'd answer the question so many times. And when we got this larger space, we're like, okay, we need a backdrop for pictures, for Instagram and stuff like that. So we'll have like a cool back bar.
And we knew we would do private tastings and stuff like that.
A nicer place for people to do private tastings rather than just standing at an aluminum rolling table, like our first space. And
then the creative wheels started turning as they always do. And
one thing led to another, and then we looked at it and it's like,
just started building it, and we were like, we totally just built a bar.
Whoops. Happens to the best of us.
Next step, sandwich boards. Let's see show up to the bar.
And if you've ever been there, if you haven't been there, you should come.
Yeah, you should.
It is gorgeous.
Yeah.
For people who don't know, it's inside of a warehouse, and it's down by the train tracks in Inner Bay, and you would never ever dream that there is a bar, a cute little, Christmas light lit bar in the back of this warehouse, and you walk by like the coffee roasting place, like down a neon lit or a fluorescent lit corridor, and then at the end there's this gorgeous little treat waiting for you at the end of the hallway. So it's very enticing.
Yeah, you can see the yellow neon heart off in the distance, like kind of guiding you forward that you're in the right place. It's great.
Something good's gonna happen here.
Yeah.
There's something better at the end of it.
You're safe.
Yeah.
I am curious how you guys learned what equipment you would need to produce Amaro at scale.
We didn't.
Lots of research.
Yeah, I feel like we just played around so much with ingredients. Then when we had first found our space, it was the pandemic, so we had been laid off from our bartending gigs, and we just kind of had a lot of time, but not a lot of cash, and so we were like, okay, what's the cheapest tank I can buy?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. How many of those could we fit in? Like, what's the process? And we didn't grow up in any families where like this was knowledge that's passed down.
Right.
Like we jumped out from behind the bar into an industry we have no idea about. Yeah, and I think we just...
Well, and also during the pandemic, people weren't really hanging out or talking to each other. So it's not like we could be like,
sure,
yo,
hey, can I pick your brain? How should I start this business? I mean, I feel like the only thing we did that was kind of weird and different is I think a lot of people, infuse with bags and things like that. And we just like, I don't know, let's make a big tea strainer.
Sure.
To just like fit right inside of a tank. And so
it seemed totally logical to us.
So that's what we did. Yeah. And
so Joey, with all his mad skills,
not at first. We tried to get somebody to
fabricate one,
to do it,
but people were like, that's either too small of a project, or we just couldn't get a hold of anybody during that time in life.
So we ordered a bunch of stainless steel, and we had a drill press in our basement and drilled it out, and just spent a couple weeks sanding it and hand polishing it.
Dang.
And
you made it yourself.
Bolted it together, and we're like, look, we made a thing.
Wow.
Did
it's
work?
Just part of the adventure. It's still kicking to this day.
To this day, you still use it. Wow.
We still take it out, pressure wash it in our backyard.
Nice.
As far as like scaling up, I think like mathematically, is that what you were asking? Like going from like 2-gallon jars to...
Yeah, or just kind of knowing what types of equipment you need. Because obviously making Amaro is different than making infusions at a bar, right?
Yeah, or like...
Yeah.
I think, we use a lot of equipment they used to make beer, essentially. Yeah. So we kind of just went off of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just bought a bunch of stainless steel stuff.
And also looked at other, distilleries and things.
Mm-hmm. Did you tour other places?
Their tanks are a lot bigger than ours.
Not until after we had set up, but every time we go into the bowels of like another distillery or a brewery, we're like, oh,
theirs are just,
that's cool and it's expensive. I wish I had something
5 times
like that.
bigger than ours. Yeah. We're still very small batched, but I think that's going to change here.
Yeah.
Soon.
Hopefully.
You guys, I think, just announced that you're available to order in, I think, like 43 states now? Or?
Yes, we now have nationwide shipping, which is really cool. It's been a long time coming. So
Tell all your friends out there and
We will via this podcast.
44 other states.
Important message inside. Yeah, we'll have to figure out what the other states are.
Yeah,
We also recently started a partnership with Franco Wine in Nevada.
Oh,
cool.
great.
So
Cool.
keep your eyes out for SennzaFinne in Nevada.
Interesting.
One thing I like about going to your tasting room is that we're sitting among all the bins of Angelica and Calendula. And I just wondered if you would talk about herbs a little bit, because I'm a botanical, a botany nerd, right? So there's often items there that I've never seen in real life. I've only read the names of, or like burdock root or something like that. Can you just sort of talk about how you learned the botany behind making Amaro? Like, were you already garden nerds? No. Yeah.
Not garden nerds at all. I mean, I think
You kind of conceptualized things as like you had an idea of what it was, that it was going to taste like what that seasonal flavor was. And then I just started reading a bunch of books on foraging and Northwest medicinal plant life and all of that stuff.
Do you forage some of that?
Absolutely not.
No.
Gillian saw me reading a foraging book and she's like, babe,
We
are
can buy
you
that.
thinking that we're going to become foragers? And I was like, no. This
No,
is a
babe.
reference.
No
this
way.
is a reference guide.
I mean, well,
You pay the foragers.
We definitely would like to work, more with like local farmers and things like that as things progress. But for me, it was a little bit more along the lines going back to like the seasonal concept. We've never been seasonal, like seasonally available or anything like that, but definitely a lot of inspiration behind what grows around us during certain times of year. Mm-hmm. So going off of that, really highlighting an ingredient like lovage, for example, and knowing what that tastes like. So finding ingredients perhaps that, have similar flavor profiles. So looking up ingredients that maybe complement something like that, like lemon balm and, hey, chamomile is really sweet. Chamomile tastes like spring. That's a beautiful flower. Like, things that we also really focus on ingredients that are naturally sweet, so we don't have to add as much sugar to our amari. Yeah. That's another thing that kind of makes it a little bit unique.
And it's Pacific Northwestern seasonal, not
exactly.
You're from here, yeah? You're from Tacoma, yeah?
I was born in the Seattle area.
Yeah. Did you grow up around here?
So I mainly grew up in like the Tacoma South Sound area, but born in Seattle and moved back to Seattle in like 1980.
Normally, I don't mean to profile people, but because you're making a Pacific Northwestern seasonal product, that makes me wonder. Joey, where are you from?
Northwest.
I was born in the heart of the Inland Empire in Spokane, Washington.
Nice. Cool.
My family moved me over here when I was in junior high in the early 90s.
So you've been there. You're both local PNW folks.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, and we kind of thought about it like all of the ingredients. It's like kind of like the greater Cascadia.
Sure.
And we were thinking, this is definitely Northwest, but it seems like all these things are in season in New York too.
Sure.
At the same times. And so it's just kind of like.
Sure. That makes sense.
And so for people who don't know, you guys have 5 different expressions of amari, and each one is sort of designed to represent a certain season from the PNW, right?
Except for one.
Yeah.
And that one's called Always. And that one is a little bit more...
Love song to taste memories.
Exactly.
Wow. Wow. Poets over here.
Love song to taste memories. More specifically, we had this incredible hibiscus enchilada in Oaxaca in 2019. Mm-hmm. And when we agreed that we were going to create a signature amari or a flagship amari, I was like, okay, I think that we should definitely do that, but I really want it to taste like this enchilada sauce that we had in Oaxaca. Joey looked at me and he was like,
okay, babe.
It's like, and then it can be like
but
one
it's also
part.
going to be like an ode to traditional Italian amari at the same time.
Just the same time as Oaxaca. Don't worry.
Well, in basically all of we kind of like ran through the list, like what are, like our favorite old world style amari, and like what were they? And like, well, a common thread that you had in them was a lot of rhubarb root, and they were kind of gritty and chewy, and like some of the alpine ones too. And so we're like, okay, cool. Like we'll start with this base of rhubarb root, and it gets along really well with hibiscus. I'm like, cool, let's just start throwing in some favorite things that are going to work in there.
Yeah.
So, and it came together.
Cool.
Yeah.
So Always is essentially like a combination of your favorite flavors in amaro and enchiladas.
Yeah, can you do like a whole enchilada salsa line? That'd be great.
Probably.
Just like a special run.
After we're going to do the enchilada sauce line, after we launch the potpourri line and the candle line.
Wax
we'll get
melts,
there.
yeah.
We'll get there.
Awesome.
Well, should we do the news?
Yeah, let's do the news. I kind of had to ask everyone about the snack. I just brought a big bag of snacks this time.
That's right. We brainstormed on this
and
one.
we all brainstormed on it, but you guys picked the one that I secretly wanted to do.
Love it when that happens.
I thought it wasn't that interesting, but also I'm curious. And originally, this section where I do the wacky snack was just me going to the store and being like, I'm curious about this thing. Mark, would you also like to try it? So these are turtle chips. They're seaweed flavor. They're by Orion. They're from Seoul, Korea. They came from the H Mart. They probably don't taste that interesting, but I'm very, very curious about the shape.
Sure.
They look like they're going to taste like bugles.
Are they like, maybe?
It does have that
potato.
kind of-
I guess I don't know what they're made out of. I assumed it was potato.
Do we know why they're called turtle chips?
I think
per
they're
se?
shaped like a tortoise shell.
Okay.
Almost like a football, like a prolate spheroid. Like,
Yeah. For those of you
are
at
they
home.
just?
Really
So there's a photo. Are they just stacked up, or are they really shaped like this weird football?
Right. Well, we're about to find out.
That's what I wanna know.
That they're hollow inside.
They're made of corn and not potato. I don't know why I assumed
Okay, I
that
think
because they kind of look like ruffles a little bit.
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Now, the corn further supports the bugle theory, I think. Yeah. Like, right,
Well, Joey, should you? Oh, what do they look like?
Whoa, they look like the representation on the package, which like they look
Oh, they're
stacked
little
up.
though.
They're like, look,
I thought they were going to be gigantic.
kind of like Fritos.
they've
stacked on each
got
other.
like a flavor powder.
Oh, they look so weird. Oh,
Yeah.
no, they don't look nice. They look like tortilla strips that have been sort of like wrapped around your finger and then deep fried. Okay, we're going to try them. Turtle chips.
They have that like Kix breakfast cereal flavor to them.
Those are real weird. Mm-hmm. Did we choose incorrectly?
I don't know. I'm interested in these.
I'm pretty hungry, so I feel like I can just devour this bag.
Destroy them.
It has this quality of eating several chips at once because of the way they're layered, which is kind of appealing.
Yeah, they're like little loops. They had other flavors. They had a sour cream and onion, and they had flamin' lime.
Oh, Flamin' Lime would have been the one.
I feel like it should have more.
I wanted the seaweed. Yeah,
These are kind of tasty.
kind of.
Yeah, the seaweed flavor is there. It's really subtle though. Yeah.
When I first ate the first one, I was like, "Oh, seaweed, so fishy," and now I'm like, they just taste like chips.
kind of want to see the ingredients again.
There's a billion ingredients.
Are
It's
there?
like pellet corn or something.
Okay, so
Niacin.
oh yeah, the first ingredient is turtle chips pellet.
Turtle chips pellet.
Yeah, and turtle chips pellet consists of corn snack mix, maize flour, vegetable oil, sodium bicarbonate salt. That's it.
Okay.
And we got vegetable oil, seaweed seasoning. That is a seaweed flavor powder with sugar, monosodium glutamate.
Yeah, there's a little sugar in there.
Yeah. Japanese soy powder,
Okay.
processed salt, kelp extract powder,
Kelp extract.
amino base, and nori flavor.
There's lots of different words for seaweed in there.
Yeah.
Kelp, nori, seaweed.
We've got this ingredient called silicon dioxide disodium 5-ribonucleotide. I don't,
That doesn't sound very healthy.
I don't know that.
It comes
It's
from
an
turtles.
anti-caking agent.
Yeah.
It's turtle extract.
Grill flavor.
You say grill flavor?
Yeah, grill flavor.
My goodness.
Girl flavor.
Aspartame, too.
Oh, no.
Why?
That's really bad for you.
Why are you giving us aspartame and sugar? All right,
Yeah.
well,
Well,
you
no more
notice
turtle
from
chips for me.
reading the ingredients that it's
Yeah.
a very well-rounded.
Are we gonna try those? Are we gonna try those ice cream cake things?
Do you want to try the ice cream ones too? We can.
yeah, let's try those. Those seem safer.
So the
Started
reason-
savory and
Yeah,
now
to
we're
like
moving
wipe
into-
the aspartame flavor out of your mouth.
Yeah.
These are Frost Bites brand freeze-dried ice cream sandwiches, and I think they are related to the Chico Puffs that we had. I believe I've seen these little sort of Ziploc baggies at several bodegas and mini marts with different brand name stickers stuck on them.
Okay.
So I think that it's some local purveyor, and you can just buy these, and they're probably pretty cheap, and then you can brand them as whatever you want.
Got it. So like a generic product.
But yeah, they're freeze-dried ice cream sandwiches, strawberry cheesecake flavor.
That's bonkers.
I got these at the gas station by Steven's house.
Frost Bites. I like
what?
that. A fun name.
They're weird.
Oh God,
They have like, yeah, I don't think I like them.
I don't like those.
They have,
Those turn into something strange.
they're very dry. I think we better open these pineapple spindrifts that I
Yeah, there you go. Perfect.
I'm going to chase it with a turtle chip.
bought with the cancer turtle.
Chase it. Yeah, cancer turtle. It did have that California Prop 65 warning on the package too.
Oh no.
Yeah. It's not what you're looking for.
Yeah, I don't like that ice cream sandwich thing.
That's
Yeah,
nice.
I feel like Spindrift is my favorite bubbly water.
Indeed.
Because it has actual juice in it.
Exactly. Yeah, this tastes like pineapple. It tastes like a nice bubbly pineapple.
These are from the gross out, and instead of being $8 or something, they were like $3.
Yeah, that's where the gross out really earns its
That's
stripes.
legit. That's good. I like it.
Super good.
And I want you to eat any more of these.
Take
them away from me.
Yeah, let's put them away.
Get rid of the cancer turtles.
More regrettable than I thought.
Yeah. I don't know. I was on board with them at first, and then I kind of freaked myself out by
Bad
looking
wacky
at
sack. I kind of didn't want you to read those ingredients because there were so many of them. I'm like, this can't go well.
Yeah, no kidding.
Statistically,
Right.
one of these 20 ingredients is going to be gross.
So much.
Down.
This, however,
Yeah, that's really good. Well done, Spindrift.
be better with Amaro in it.
Once
though.
again. Oh, yeah. You really could make a cocktail with this. That would be pretty great.
Yeah. What would you put in it? Mint.
Oh, yeah. That would be great.
Some wrestling wood.
Yeah. I really want to try a Mary Pickford cocktail. I have a feeling that a Mary Pickford is not actually very good because it contains
What's in
grenadine.
it?
Grenadine is one of the ingredients. Another ingredient is pineapple juice, of course, rum, and I think lime juice. But it is one of the recognized classic cocktails.
What is in rustling wood?
Wrestling
Toasted
wood
hazelnuts.
is winter.
Yeah, but I don't remember what's in it.
Oh, sorry.
Toasted hazelnuts.
I know I like that one. I just don't remember
Yeah,
what's in it.
toasted
Cedarwood.
hazelnuts.
Are there toasted
Cedar.
hazelnuts in it? And
Northwest red cedar, cocoa nib, coffee, and
That's
then
right.
a little bit of cardamom and orange, and
Nice.
cinnamon, and kind of your usual
Just for the folks at home.
winter suspects.
Yeah, should we go through the rest of the lineup in that
Sure.
case? Because we just
Sure.
talked about two. Let's go with the rest of the three.
Yeah.
Yeah, Grassy Eden is our sort of, I guess, expression of a spring, and that is lots of cedar tips and pea shoots that we have grown locally for us, as well as a bitter bouquet of lovage root, nettle, and celery root. And then there's a plant in there called Yerba Santa, which has like a naturally sweet sort of melon flavor, and a little bit of chamomile. And then we also finish it with Cascade hops. It's really,
nice.
We really highlight hops in that.
right, there's so much hops in Washington State. Not just for
Sources
beer
from
anymore.
Yakima.
Yeah, that's what we thought. It was kind of early on, like, are we thinking too outside of the box? Like, hops are a bittering agent that's been a preservative for thousands of years.
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't anybody put them in
Yeah.
tomorrow? Maybe there's a good reason. And then
They're pretty funky to work with. We tried like, I don't think 6
different
different
ones, yeah.
kinds.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they can get weird.
Which
Okay.
kind did you end up using?
Cascade. They're delicious.
Okay.
Yeah, that Grassy Eden is so fresh tasting. It's so bright. It's, yeah.
All natural colors too, so it has a really beautiful like mossy rainforest color. We love. And
Yeah.
golden hour.
Yeah, our golden hour Amaro, kind of meant to be evocative of like those lovely like patio evening sunset days in summer. There's tons of summer berries, lots of blackberries, strawberries, bitter citrus, kind of like as a little bit of a backbone, but there's tons of like wild fennel pollen,
Nice.
other sort of kind of licoricey notes to that, kind of like little wisps of florality. It's really fun, very deep.
And then there's always we talked about, and then there's tends to be the real head turner, which is our autumn expression, which is we call last leaf, and that has a lot of funky mushrooms. So we play with porcini and candy cap mushrooms, and then it has a heavy spice character running throughout with lots of ginger root and a little bit of pine resin.
Nice.
And then we finish it with a little star anise.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
That's a favorite of local bartenders. I see so many drinks around town with that Amaro in it.
Me too.
It's pretty special.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you're listening and you think you've never had that Amaro, you probably have actually in a cocktail.
I just didn't tell you.
Yeah.
Shall we get to the news?
Let's do it. Well, first news is some bad news. And with Homer and Beacon Hill, the building they're housed in had a fire. And so
Saw that.
they are closed right now as the assessment comes in to figure out how to repair it and how long that will take. It's indefinite right now. We don't know.
In the ductwork? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So not sure
That's one of my favorites.
one of my favorites too.
Yeah, it's a great spot.
Yeah.
I wonder if maybe they could get repaired enough to at least offer ice cream out of the window before the rest of the building is open for
Yeah.
dine-in. I don't know.
Well, speaking of
great
that,
ice cream.
a good way to support them in the meantime is go to Milk Drunk.
Yeah,
up
up the street and get ice cream
Yeah.
and fried chicken.
Yeah. But
true.
God, I was just
Or
there.
buy a gift card.
Yeah,
online.
absolutely.
That too?
Yeah.
That's a great idea. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just there a couple of days prior with Ash Salva from Ash Farms. We were having dinner and just talking about local farming, and had a great meal there. I mean, it's always great. Like their spreads are so fantastic. The pita they make,
the bread is
sourdough
so good.
they make. Yeah. So I hope they get up and running again soon.
Me too. I love that whipped garlic that they do.
Yes,
so dreamy.
It's a great spot.
Yeah, for sure.
I saw a note about Richard's Too Good BBQ, which was formerly a catering company that has opened up in Madrona, 34th and Union, I believe, over by my elementary school. And so I didn't know about them, and I went and did some research, and they started out as a sauce company. They were selling bottled sauces and I think later rubs, and then they were doing catering for a long time. And so it is... Richard and Lauren Mullen are a married couple, and they are in an old barbershop, I believe.
Oh, interesting.
On 34th Madrona, and it looks really cute. I saw like a little TV short where he was teaching like a newscaster how to make pickled onions. Very charismatic fellow. They're doing applewood smoked chicken, brisket, spare ribs, but it looks really great. So I actually want to go check that out in Madrona. I haven't been to Madrona in years.
Yeah, I hadn't heard of this either. I looked at their Instagram, and they were a catering company for a while before starting up this shop, and just opened.
And we're pretty well established.
Yeah.
So they spent some time doing catering before they decided to open up a shop. So that's exciting.
Yeah, I'm here for the Seattle barbecue renaissance. It seems like it might be brewing a little
there's
bit.
lots of barbecue happening, and people talk a lot of shit on Seattle and barbecue.
And I think it's just starting to get good. You know, the Outsider is fantastic. I think everyone needs to check that out. If you think that Seattle barbecue can't hang, Outsider can hang.
We were just there.
Yeah. We were going to talk about that.
Yeah. We'll hear about it.
We'll chat about it later. I still haven't been.
Yeah. Another closure that was announced is Mayano Fried Chicken and Rachel's Ginger Beer over in the Denny Triangle by the Spheres. They cited the need to scale back their business a little bit. The other shops are going to remain open. And South Lake Union has always been kind of a complicated place to do business, especially right there in that heart of Amazon land. So I think it's just the kind of thing where a lease runs out and you decide, all right, it's time to pack up.
Or the new lease is going to be a lot more expensive than it used to be. And you're like, not worth it. I'm not making enough money to cover the new price or something like that. Yeah. Right. I'm pretty excited that PopPop Pizza is finally open in the old North Lake Tavern space. Big Mario's didn't last very long in there, huh? Maybe a year?
Yeah, I think that they may have miscalculated how popular the North Lake Tavern was. I think it was sort of a painful thing for the neighborhood to have that go away and turn into a style of pizza that's essentially
if anyone doesn't know, North Lake Tavern is this like perfectly preserved from the, I guess, late 60s, early 70s, like red pleather bar stools. They've got all the David Horsey comics. Like there's murals of like a political cartoonist doing like people eating pizza. And it was just very much frozen in amber. And then they were serving these pies that were probably 5 pounds a piece, like just very dense, thick crust pizza for years and years. And they closed about a year ago, maybe a little bit more. And then Big Mario's took over and they were serving their New York style. And it didn't last very long. So now our friend of the podcast, Brian O'Connor, is moving in and he's doing this dinner party style. So he's doing tavern style pies. He comes from a Michelin-ish background, but he was opening restaurants. He was an investor. He wasn't a chef originally. So they're kind of high level pizzas. He's doing, he has an Alpine style pie that I like, really thin and crispy. And it's got ham and like an Alpine, like Emmentaler type cheese, but that's not what it's called. And caramelized onions, that kind of thing. I'm trying to think of his other pizzas, and they're grid sliced, so there's little squares. And it's a pre-fiche, so I think his last, when he was at the W, he was charging $135.
Yeah, he's not charging that much for these reservations. Okay. His reservations just went live for the first dinners coming up on this Thursday and Friday. And those are going for $75.
$75.
Yeah. Okay. And that is just like the pizza keeps coming out.
Yeah. It's essentially unlimited. Like no one could ever eat all of it.
Yeah. It's sort of like that Brazilian style of what's that called? Like rodizio or
like a churrasco parrilla with the meat swords.
Yeah. Where just like where the meat just keeps coming
until you're done.
Yeah. Until you're done.
Right.
That's sort of
and there's appetizers. There's that brioche mortadella thing that I'm obsessed with. The griddled little brioches with mortadella and giardiniera on top, and lots of wine, beautiful wine, like pretty fancy, pretty high level, expensive wine. So I think people bulk. I saw people on Reddit sort of balking at the price tag, but it's not like you get a slice of pizza. I think when people read the word pizza, they think Pagliacci pizza, right? And it's not that, it's beyond that. Oh, you get ice cream too, right?
Yeah, he had ice cream too.
You get fancy ice cream. When I went, they had like cardamom ice cream and a bunch of really lovely toppings. It was like a sundae bar. I was impressed. I think it's worth the price tag for sure.
Yeah, really high level tavern pies. And the mushroom pie he has is fantastic.
Oh yeah,
too.
the mushroom 3.0. It has reduced mushrooms, sauteed mushrooms, and then it's topped with fresh mushrooms, I believe. Do I have that right?
I think so.
Yeah. He has a very mushroomy mushroom pizza.
Yeah.
The reason I want to spend so much talking about this is because I think people don't understand the concept and they just balk at the price tag and that's it. And I really think it's a fun experience.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah. And I think it's like a pizza meal, essentially.
Yeah,
it's
really.
Pizza feast.
And he's a wine guy. It's also like a wine meal that's paired with pizza.
Yeah, I think it really does a great job of being high end without crossing over into pretentious territory.
Yeah.
You know, like it's this really well done pizza. It is at a price that you might think of as higher than what you would normally do for like a pizza night, but just not higher than what you would do for a night out. Yeah, so if you think about like $75, and that doesn't include wine, but $75 for a multi-course meal and dessert, right? Like that's a pretty good place to be.
It's a lot of food.
Yeah.
And cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
I think people are always worried about leaving hungry from a tasting menu. You will not leave hungry from a PopPop.
You will not eat for minimum 24 hours. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah. So that's really exciting.
Congrats to Brian.
Yeah. And the other opening is Top Dead Center Cafe over on 77th and Aurora. Meg, that's where Backfire Moto Bar used to be.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did they build a new building?
No, they took over the building, but it looks like they renovated it quite a bit. I saw some photos on Instagram of the bathroom that they redid.
Oh, wow.
It looks so nice now.
Okay, yeah. It was just kind of a cinder block before with graffiti.
Yeah, so Backfire Moto Bar was great, but it was really like a bar inside an old motorcycle repair shop.
Right.
You know, and so not much had been done to make it into a bar. So Top Dead Center did a bit of build out, and they're doing coffee and then some pretty nice looking charcuterie based sandwiches, like porchetta, mortadella, stuff like that. And they've got tinned fish, wine, and cider.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, they have that Son of Man cider that you like.
Oh, I'm obsessed with Son of Man cider right now. Yeah.
Yeah. Also some empanadas, and they're also serving Nada Seattle's pastéis de nata.
Oh,
yeah,
that's the thing you're obsessed with.
That's something I'm pretty obsessed with. Yeah, so
Portuguese pastries.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like we got to go here.
Sounds like it. It's an interesting location for something that sounds a little bit nice, as my parents would say. It's nice.
Yeah.
For 77th and Aurora, you know.
Yeah,
it's like Chubby and Tubby district, right?
Yeah. Do you guys know what Top Dead Center means?
No.
I looked it up.
Do you? I don't.
I do. Yeah, I had to learn this. It's a measurement of an engine cylinder. So Top Dead Center is the maximum height of a cylinder as it turns. And that's useful for various repair and tune-up use cases. So they're going to be hosting like F1 racing events there, viewings.
Now I don't want to go. Just kidding.
Top Dead Center.
Don't worry. F1 racing doesn't really happen when most of us are awake.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Oh, because it's like.
Well, because it's all around the world.
Yeah. Right.
Like the Spanish Grand Prix. It's just like the middle
the Isle of Man or something. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
But
it's like, I wouldn't even morning know. At 3 a.m. I'm going to be watching the race.
I care so little about it. I didn't even know that.
I thought it was interesting just for preserving the DNA of the space, right?
Totally.
It wasn't a motorcycle repair shop, and then it was a motorcycle bar, and now it's this coffee sandwich cider wine shop that is still preserving the racing vibe.
Cool.
Pretty cool.
I love a theme. And then Dordlofva Cafe opened up in Fremont in the old Caravan Carpets. I'm trying to think of where that is. Is that by Ophelia's Books?
Yes, right next
door. On the
door.
corner. Okay.
Yeah.
I know exactly where that is.
Yeah. They had been trying to open for quite some time, too. Like that build out was taking forever.
They're Scando, right?
It looks like it. That was another one. I looked up the word Dordlofva to see if I could figure out what it means, and I could not. So it might be a family name. It seems
Dordlofva.
Yeah.
Dordlofva. That looks Swedish to me.
Yeah. And that tracks because some of the stuff that they're serving are things like cardamom buns.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's all. That's pan-Scandinavian.
I know, yes, right? Yeah.
Do they have the little horse on there, the doll horse?
They do.
Orange. Okay, well, then they're Swedish.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. And they're serving conduit coffee there and eventually ice cream, sounds like.
Oh, all right. Cool. I'll bring Sweden over. I'll bring Steven over. He has a Swedish grandparent, I think.
That's his name.
Nice. Yeah.
Sweden. That's his secret code name.
Their hours are somewhat limited right now. They're just open Thursday through Sunday.
Okay.
So
we're in full support of limited hours.
I know, right? Yeah. I love it.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, you guys just shifted your hours a little bit, like not in terms of limiting them, but you were open 4 to 6 with the tasting room on Thursday and Friday, right?
Yes.
And now our Thursday, Friday is 5 to 7?
5 to 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just expanded, a little bit for the commuters to give a little more time to get there.
Get off work, get on down.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Any more news?
I think that does it for news.
That does it? You guys got any news other than your hours changed? No?
Oh, man.
I remembered something I was going to write down for news. Is Spice Wall is doing a burger month.
Okay.
So like every Tuesday at all their locations, they're going to be doing a different burger every Tuesday.
Like Lil Woody's? They're different burgers?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Cool.
And every time Spice Walla does a special, it always slaps.
Okay.
Like they've just never missed.
All
never
right.
missed.
Spice Walla.
Yeah. Have you guys been there? We had Wiltom on as a guest a couple episodes ago. And
There's one in Ballard and one on the Hill, and there's one in Columbia City also.
Okay.
yeah. And so these burgers are going to be available at all 3 each Tuesday of the month. There's a different one each month. I wish I had written it down because...
Are they like Indian burgers? They are. Okay, that's cool.
I know the first one, well, I think this episode is not going to come out in time, but the one from Tuesday is going to be the Gully Burger, which they served at Lil Woody's a while ago.
Oh, I see. So Uttam and Akanksha did a burger at Lil Woody's for their like rotating, not burger month, but just themed burgers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're bringing
they're taking that and putting it on their own menu. I see.
Yeah, just for this coming Tuesday. And then the following Tuesday will be a different one and so on and so forth. Anyway, that's something to check out for sure.
Yeah. For the round table, should we start?
Yeah. So we were thinking about the fact that you guys do Amaro much differently than a traditional Italian Amaro. We had Skip Tognetti on, of course, from Letterpress Distilling a few episodes back, and we thought it'd be interesting to talk about how you guys approach it versus how creative you can be while still being an Amaro. And if you think about that or if that's a consideration.
I think from the outset, we thought very much about that we intentionally didn't want to make something similar to something we had come across or improve in our minds or for our palates, like what that thing could be. We wanted to really just do a thing that we'd never tasted before.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, we weren't trying to improve on something that already existed, which essentially is a little bit terrifying because you're going outside of the box and making something new, which you want to make familiar to people, familiar enough to where it doesn't scare them away.
Yeah, so they can still recognize it as Amaro.
Yeah.
Right.
But interesting enough to where it pulls them in. It has a draw, which I think is difficult at first. But I think is one thing I love the most about SennzaFinne is I just think that it makes it fun and interesting and a really, really cool, amazing adventure that we're on. Because we do stand out amongst everything else that is out there. And there's a lot out there. A lot of really amazing things.
For people who are listening, can you define Amaro just generally?
Bitter.
Sure.
Just a bitter liqueur.
If we just
translates
focus on the word.
bitter.
Well, I know that.
Yeah. But,
I mean, like if someone has never had Amari before and they're not sure what it is, can you just...
Yeah, I mean, it is a liqueur essentially created from herbs and botanicals, plants, flowers, and things. Traditionally just found amongst what exists in your own backyard. I mean, Italians traditionally would use things that just grew around in their specific regions and make their own amari.
And they just ferment it, and the liquor content comes from fermenting the herbs, or the liquor content comes from an additional
just macerating.
Add to it. Okay.
Yeah, and like in a base spirit, like a neutral grain spirit.
Okay, got it.
All throughout Europe, it's pretty much since we had distilled spirits, it's pretty much been available to purchase high proof distilled spirits in stores and whatnot, in liquor stores and in Europe. And so it's just something that's always kind of been readily available.
Okay.
But yeah.
So you took the concept and decided to make profiles. Like, did you start with the 4 seasons? How did you start? You knew right away you wanted 4 different kinds.
Yeah, we knew we wanted to make evocations. That's a word, right?
Sure. Yeah. You said expressions earlier, which I liked.
Wanted to celebrate
the Northwest seasons, and so we started with Grassy Eden. That was the first one, because there was a big love for those sort of like gin-shin based aperitifs or digestifs
Yeah.
Especially on my part, I really love like a white Negroni. I love those really intense, bitter flavors. And so the spring, like those notes, and that's why what drew us to hops is because I think hops really just possesses that sort of bitter flavor in my mind.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so we opted not to use any gentian. We were like, okay, well, this is scary as hell because it's like we're going to try and create something that's made mainly with gentian in Italian culture, but we're going to focus only on this one specific ingredient.
Sure.
You know, and that was a leap that we took.
Does gentian not grow around here?
Oh yeah, it does.
It does. Okay.
Yeah.
It does, but we really wanted to highlight hops because they also grow around here.
Yeah, they do.
But we didn't want to, because you can lean on gentian, and we use it in a lot of other, all of our other expressions, just not that one.
I see.
And I think for us in like each of our recipes, there's numerous things that are all bittering agents, but they're all different for each of them. For each of the expressions, like all of the recipes of the bittering agents are all different and they're all in different proportions. And to us, it just all it was a puzzle piece to kind of work together to make that recipe.
Did that come out as you thought it would? Were you really getting intentional with like a narrow idea of what this flavor should be? Or was there sort of like a error bars, so to speak, where you were just kind of like, well, if it gets this way, that's fine. If it gets that way, it's fine.
There was definitely some
You got to follow it where it goes.
Errors,
Yeah.
I mean, it was 19 rounds of research and development for spring or grassy Eden.
Wow.
Before we dialed into that recipe.
Yeah, and golden hour took a lot too, but those were very much like following where the thing's going. It's kind of like doing a painting with two different people, and like I'm doing a little over here and you're doing a little over there, and it's just like, oh, it's kind of going a different way than I planned it. But
well, especially dealing with the world of botanicals, a lot of things do have a similar flavor profile. And once you dive in, you're like, oh, that sounds so cool. Let's try it. And you're like, this is really good. And then you try another one. You're like, this is really good too. And this one kind of tastes like this one. And then you end up kind of using a lot of similar products that taste the same. You're like, do we really need this though? And then you kind of like take that one out. And then maybe you have too much of this and you're kind of just really trying to dial everything in. And then, you really want to get all of those nuances in there. I mean, a lot of times people will taste grassy Eden and they're like, well, all I taste is celery. And you're like,
okay, nothing wrong with that.
Well, if you like celery, then that's great.
Right.
But there's so many other, layers of flavor in there.
Yeah.
And it's lovage, There's no celery in it.
Right.
Lovage is in the celery family.
Right.
But, it's
more powerful celery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, everybody tastes differently. Everybody's palates are different too,
Do you think, this is me just spitballing, so there's a lot of Amari producers for Seattle, were there 4 or 5?
Yeah, there's you guys, there's Letterpress, there's Fast Penny Spirits, there's High Side.
There's Jason at Mezzanotte, who isn't really a Amari producer because he can only sell them in the restaurant, I think.
But he's doing very high level Amaro.
He's doing really fascinating stuff.
Yeah. I'm forgetting some.
Are we in Brovo? Are we inspired by the part of the world we're in or the specific kind of plants that grow here? Is it a coincidence? Like, how come there's so many in this town? I mean, we don't know.
It's a really good question.
It's a natural mystery.
Didn't Skip say something about like, it's like Western mindset or something like that? I don't know.
Okay.
I have a theory that we have a really great cocktail culture here, right? Okay. And I think that there are some ways in which Amaro can kind of feel like a cocktail in a glass because of its complexity.
For sure.
And
balance, yeah.
Yeah, and the way it's balanced. And I wonder if that's part of what draws us to Amaro in this part of the country. We just have this really strong cocktail culture, and then that spins out to that very naturally in a way.
Well, I think very specifically about something like Amaro, which came from a very traditional background, that the Northeast and the Midwest have a foot down in keeping things traditionally what they used to and what they have. And so maybe being on the West Coast and untethered from that history, it's like, cool, I'm going to do whatever the hell I feel like doing.
I'm on the West Coast
That's
now.
What makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Like I grew up Italian, but I didn't have any, like no one in my family like made nocino.
Right.
Or made finocchietto. Like I discovered those things in restaurants. And so it's
totally.
Like, I'm not going to upset my great grandfather if I go away from his nocino recipe. Like I can make whatever the heck I want. Sure. So
yeah, there is a lot of freedom in it because it kind of lacks a specific definition overarchingly.
You have no one to answer to out here in Seattle.
Yeah. It is interesting because I come from an Italian-American family too, and I had never heard of Amaro until I was much older, and I heard about it here, like not from any of my relatives.
Because your parents don't drink, right?
Well, my parents don't drink, but my other relatives
They do,
my
okay.
great aunts, uncles.
Okay.
But they would drink like anisette, and that kind of stuff, and grappa, so it wasn't really Amaro based.
Is everyone Italian except me again? That's what's going on here.
I'm not Italian.
No, you're not. Okay.
No.
It keeps happening. That's
I mean, I'm basically
now you're Italian, yeah.
I'm not Italian. I mean, I'm Eastern Bloc.
You're associated
Eastern
with Italians at this point.
Well,
You want to talk about what we ate this week?
what did you guys eat this week?
Well, I think we were talking about barbecue. You were saying
Yeah.
the Seattle barbecue renaissance.
Outsider.
Yeah, so we were at Outsider. Delicious.
We have never been there before.
Yeah.
I still haven't been.
We're trying to go see our lovely friends at Hamdi, which is always such a treat. We saw that they were accepting walk-ins because it was Saturday.
Yeah.
Saturday.
Wow.
Yeah.
They were accepting walk-ins, and so we jumped on it. It was like 5:30, and Joey dragged me out of the house. He was like, "Come on, let's go," and I was like, "Oh, I don't know." So we went. And we saw Katrina, and I was like, "We got dressed. We're here." And she was like,
She's like, "We don't
kind of
have room
filled
for
up.
you."
Yeah.
Oh no.
And so we pivoted
Wah, wah.
real quickly, and we went next door, and we were not at all disappointed. It was very good.
Yeah. What'd you get?
We got brisket, we got pork spare ribs, we got the corn, we got the mac salad, we got the slaw. The slaw was ridiculous.
And they have some lovely NA beers too.
Yeah.
Which are very good.
The cheese jalapeno sausage.
I love that.
So good.
Yeah.
The brisket
It's
was
always a
like
winner.
fork tender. I mean, you could just
Yeah,
the brisket was
I love
Yeah.
brisket.
Really
I got to go
good.
over there.
Yeah. Delirious.
Ribs were really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Delirious on Leary Way.
Really fun atmosphere. I mean, I lived in
Yeah.
Austin for a really short period of time, and it reminded me of that like open air, outdoor, loud, fun, family, like just fun.
It had a good
barbecue
feel,
spot.
and it was like usually there's a big long line.
Yeah.
Not huge fans of waiting in lines.
Sure. Yeah, me
but we're
either.
like, oh sweet, like there's only like 4 people. Like went and got in line, and while we were waiting to order, it was like 14 people showed up behind us, and so when we were checking out, I was like, should I order 2 beers because I don't want to do that again just for a beer like halfway through? And she's like, just come make eyes at one of us, and we'll get you a drink.
Okay.
So I'm like,
Good.
Well, that's great.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a good tip for outsider then.
Yeah.
Sort of like do the whole.
For outsiders.
Yeah.
Yeah, just go stand like you're
Like
queuing
me.
up to the bathroom and be like, just that.
Yeah.
All I want.
Drinky.
Yeah.
Like the drinky symbol.
But yeah, everything was fantastic.
Awesome.
And then we also yesterday we went to the Greenwood American Bistro.
Okay.
You guys been there yet?
Yeah.
we have.
That's Grant Rico's place.
Fantastic. We went there for brunch yesterday.
Ooh,
Nice.
What'd you have?
We had their sugar kelp.
Oh, yeah, the
wood-fired flatbread.
Yeah.
The
that-
pita thing.
Or
Yeah.
Yeah.
pita.
That's my
So
favorite
good.
thing there, I think.
With the shmoo, the yogurty carrot stuff.
No, because we were at brunch and they
Or your
served
brunch did different.
goat cheese.
Little
No.
butter with Marcona almonds. And then they sent out a little cinnamon roll with a candle in it for Joey.
Oh, cute.
Yeah,
It's
we were
birthday
there with-
week. You celebrate
We
our
were there
week.
with Joey's mom.
Got to.
Nice.
At this age, you just
Yeah.
gotta,
And then I had the green skillet, which is their like vegetarian breakfast skillet.
Ooh.
It was stupid good.
Yeah.
Do you remember what was in it?
Potatoes, broccoli, like a little grilled avocado.
Grilled avocado.
Yeah, like a little warm avocado on top.
Sounds
and then
great.
some over-easy eggs, some other lovely greens in there, chimichurri sauce. It was spectacular, like seasoned to perfection. You know, some nice roasty shallots in there too. Just
nice.
like all those yummy little bits.
Excellent.
Really good.
Yeah, and then
You had a
we went
breakfast sandwich.
Yeah, had a breakfast sandwich, just on all cylinders.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
It was just really
just
good.
everything.
Yeah.
Everything, just every component was well seasoned and well executed, and then the wholes were all harmonies of all that, which is something that it can frustratingly lack.
Nice.
Especially in brunches are so tough.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially when the place isn't open on lunch the rest of the week.
For sure.
It's a hard shift.
Yeah.
To
And then Fair Isle.
Yeah, and then
I went to Fair Isle, yeah.
What is gonna be wrong with anything you eat at Fair Isle?
What'd you eat?
We tried out their menu for the first time because normally we've gone in the past. It's been the
You know how they have, like,
early week
pop-ups and
Yeah.
stuff.
In
Yeah.
fact, that's one of my
Yeah.
entries for this.
Yeah. We had a burger. It was stupid.
Yeah.
I loved it.
In a good way.
Well, it was like we were kind of
Stupid
like
good
we
or
were
just
kind of
stupid?
trying to decide
Good.
where we wanted to go, and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
That's what I said about my meal. I'm stupid good.
yeah. I've been like, oh, I've just kind of been craving a burger, you know.
Yeah.
And then like we ended up at Fair Isle, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, sweet. I guess I'll get that then.
So
Yeah, kale
are they
season.
not doing pop-ups anymore?
They're still doing
They still are.
pop-ups,
They are.
Sunday,
but
Monday, Tuesday.
yeah.
Okay, but
Yeah.
this was their own menu.
Yes.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was the burger like? Was it a
was
thick
stupid,
patty, a
Mark. It was
thin
stupid
patty?
burger.
Single patty, medium thickness.
They allow you to do
Brioche
an
bun.
extra patty.
Oh, nice.
pickled red onions.
Okay.
So
The
yeah.
cheese was Munster, I think.
Oh, wow.
No, maybe not Munster. It was a white cheese.
Someone should do Munster cheese on a burger. I think that'd be great.
Yeah. I would
It
Munster.
was like a Munster or
Munster.
Gouda. I can't
Yeah.
remember. the
Okay,
cheese,
yeah.
But
Yeah,
Nice.
it was fantastic.
It was a fun cheese.
The burger is very well seasoned, very
Fries
well
are really good.
constructed.
Cool.
Everything had great chew to it. Yeah.
fried pickles. Yeah.
Oh, the fried pickles.
Oh, nice.
With a
came in a very
chipotle
large bowl.
crema, right?
Yeah. I could eat a salad bowl of those. Fried pickles. Those were so good.
Yeah. Were they cut
we-
long or they cut like chips?
Chips.
Nice.
Coins. Yeah.
We actually, we've become really close with Fair Isle. We have a little bit of a collaboration with them.
Oh, okay.
They've taken some of our spent botanicals, which means like our soaked botanicals,
Right.
Oh, yeah.
from our last leaf expression, and they've put some beer on
Yeah.
them essentially, and it'll be a release this fall.
Yeah.
So that'll
Cool.
be really
That's
cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
Do you know what kind of beer it's going to be?
I think he said they just kind of did a straightforward saison because they were
Yeah.
going to get so much flavors out of the spent botanicals.
Botanicals.
Sure. Yeah, that makes a
Nice.
lot of sense.
Yeah. And
wanna
then
try
We also did
we wetted a barrel with a previously unreleased Nocino Amaro that no one really has ever tasted
that we made.
and that we made. We weren't sure if we were ever going to do it or if we were actually going to
Okay.
release it as, you know, kind of a Nocino style Amaro. And we were chatting with the guys at Fair Isle and we're like, or we could just give it to you in a barrel and then you guys could age something in it and then we could just do a collaboration that way.
Whoa.
So they wet a barrel,
Okay.
and they're going to release a beer with that as well.
Okay.
Cool.
A Nocino beer or a Nocino barrel beer.
I want that to be like a stout or a porter. Do you know what they're going to do?
It's something heavier. I can't
Yeah,
remember.
you would have to.
We'll
I just
find
can't
out.
remember.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it does.
Cool.
Yeah, very
It was
exciting.
amidst a sea of tasting
Great.
a lot
Everything
of
they
their beers
do is just, it's just fantastic. All of their beers are just unparalleled. So, big fans.
Did you eat anything else this week?
That's it so far.
Okay. So
It
far.
won't be all though. Big birthday week. Lots of
That's right.
food.
Yeah.
Lots of food.
Yeah, but we can't talk about it because they're surprises, and I
Yeah,
don't know
okay.
what's coming.
What about you, Mark? What'd you eat this week?
I finally went to Master Bing in the U district.
Oh, yeah, on the app.
Yeah, yeah.
I walked by it a billion times.
Right? Yeah.
Master Bing.
So I was doing an update of the U District map for Eater Seattle, and I thought I got to try this place because maybe it should be on here. And so Master Bing does this this dish called Junbing, and it is a food that is eaten for breakfast commonly in China, and it's a crepe-like wrap, and the filling has scrambled eggs, scallions, cilantro, bean paste. And then a fried strip of wonton dough for like some crispiness. And then it's filled with something like a protein or like a mushroom or Chinese donut or something like that. I had a lamb version. It was so good. Shredded lamb, I think shoulder.
Okay.
And just really great star anise, cinnamon,
That sounds
spicy
awesome.
and a flavor in there.
Yeah.
You order at a Square kiosk, which I don't love. I don't
Yeah.
love that interface.
to love?
But yeah, in this case, it is kind of advantageous in the sense that there's a ton of choices and a ton of different things you can do option-wise. And so it is kind of nice just to be able to sit down and be like, okay, here are all the different Junbings spread before me. I'm not craning my neck, like trying to read a menu
that's
while
true.
people are behind me waiting.
Yeah.
So that was really great. They have other stuff like spicy crawfish. They have
Really?
Chinese sausage. They have all kinds of
What's-
different other.
What's the price point on these?
These are about like $9.99, I think.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they're
Their Av price?
yeah, they are definitely not something you would eat by itself. Like it's the kind of
okay.
thing like some people might call it like burrito adjacent. I think it's more like kati roll adjacent.
I was thinking of a kate roll. Yeah.
So you would order a Junbing and get a little side, or it's really great as just a snack by itself.
Okay.
or you could get 2, right? Like that would be, I think, the way to do it. And it's just a really flexible food item because I was kind of like medium hungry at that time. And I was like, this is the perfect thing. It's substantive, but it's not going to overload me.
A $10 snack to me, like I'm flinching at that concept, but I think that's where we are in the world right now.
Yeah,
I think
it
that's
is.
what a snack costs.
Yeah.
Even on the app.
Yeah.
Unless it's a turtle seaweed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't actually like.
Yeah. Well, I would say that
$10 for a snack you enjoy eating.
I would say it's in the category of being like 75% of a meal. You know what I mean? Like it's not a small snack. It's like, so you're at like $15 to make it a meal kind of a thing.
Because they have some little, I won't order it. I'll still do it.
I also went to Fair Isle and I tried the pop-up that's there.
Sweet, how was it?
It was fantastic. It is usually tacos extranjeros, but they were doing a different concept this time that they're calling La Maria.
Yeah, you're talking about the one that we were going to try and hit that one as well. Yeah.
It was so good, you guys. They're doing all these different types of raw seafood there. I got aguachile there, which was with scallops in a broth of shrimp stock and clam stock with this like serrano lime puree.
That sounds great.
Then with like slices of avocado and onion.
Killer.
Yeah.
It was a knockout. It was the kind of thing that I thought about, when can I get this again the second I finished it.
That's fun.
Like that's always the goal with food for me.
That's a good dish. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
And they also had some tostadas there. The one I got was a hamachi tostada. So they were doing that with smoked albacore on the bottom with salsa matcha, which I guess would kind of describe as maybe like a Mexican chili crisp adjacent kind of salsa.
Yeah, kind
It's
of.
like oil and a little bit of nuts in there and chilies. And then it was topped with hamachi crudo, just dynamite. So flavorful and a lot more satisfying than I think you might associate those items with being. Anyway, they were just kind of trying that menu out over Memorial Day weekend. They're back to their taco menu this week, but I think for the rest of the summer, they're going to be doing this seafood
sweet.
concept. Sunday
Good to
through
know.
Yeah, you got to get it. It's so great. And then, lastly, I went to Lausanne for dinner,
Oh, nice.
which I had never been there for dinner, actually. I usually go to Bar Bayonne next door because I love that spot, and it's sort of like the way it's flexible in terms of like snacky or drinky, or you can fashion a dinner there too. But I think the thing that knocked me out there is I guess I must be in my raw scallop era, because that's what I loved there. They do raw scallops that are Alaskan weather vane in a rhubarb broth
That sounds great.
with pickled wild ramps.
Yum.
And yeah, those are dynamite. I also got escargot there because I've actually never had escargot before.
Do you like escargot?
How'd that work?
How was it prepared?
It was prepared with this garlic butter parsley puree.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. And
You got that
That's the
right.
best way to have escargot.
yeah. And that was great. They was served shelled already. So they were outside of its shells in that sort of dish that has little divots in it where the snails go. It was good. I think, I was just so smitten with the scallops that I should have eaten them first, the escargot, but they were great. Yeah.
No.
Anything else?
No, that does it. What did you eat?
Kind of a slacker this week. I just worked a lot.
Yeah.
I went to De Laurenti, and
De Laurenti.
I came down from Folio, hanging out with Bess when we were co-working, and they just do like slab style, kind of Romanish pizza. But I really liked the special slice they had, which was pear, gorgonzola, and arugula. It's just pretty goddamn good for $5. It was a lot of food. Like, it really satisfied me in a normal way. The ingredients were nice. I enjoyed it. I walked around eating it through the market.
It's such a fun shop too.
Yeah.
I love that spot.
It's a grandma pie, right? It's that kind of baked in a sheet pan.
Yeah,
And
it was a rectangular slice.
Yeah.
But it wasn't crispy edges. It was just focaccia-y. I liked it. They're serving chai now, chai masala. And I
interesting.
believe it's from a company called Jaipur Avenue, which is based here in Seattle. And they had a few different flavors. They had a rose-flavored chai masala that I really enjoyed, actually. It wasn't too sweet. It had a little bit of milk in it, but it had like a rose water flavor to it that I liked a lot. Those are served hot or iced. I got it iced.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I enjoyed that. I went to Giddy Sloth, which is that Costa Rican cafe up in Pinehurst. And they're just doing pretty fastidious Costa Rican coffee, and they're roasting it in-house, which is interesting.
Yeah.
So they're importing the beans from Costa Rica. The guy's from Costa Rica. He imports the beans and he roasts them in-house with an electric roaster. I thought it was great, actually. And they had pastries. He's making Costa Rican ice cream, which has got clove and nutmeg and cinnamon in it. It was really good. He said it was Christmas spices, which was true.
Yeah.
He was giving out little cups to the kids. And then they did pizza paisano pop-up while I was there.
Oh.
That guy had popped up at Ruby for a long time. And he's at Lock and Keel as well now. And then he's at this place, Giddy Sloth Cafe.
Interesting.
On Thursdays. And so I hadn't had his pizza before. It was like, he's got a trailer with a wood fire oven in it. It was thin and crispy. He had a potato sausage pie that I liked. I like potatoes on pizza.
Me too.
And then he had a couple sausagey ones. So I actually didn't end up buying it. People kept, because he was serving whole pizzas, people just kept offering me a slice of their different flavors. So I just taking handouts while I was interviewing Carlos, the owner of the cafe. So it was a fun party. They've got a very, very tiny coffee shop and then a courtyard. And so in the courtyard, the Stefano, Pizza Paisano guy, was cooking in the courtyard, but then people are sitting around and it felt like Costa Rica because people spend a lot of their lives outside because it's warm, right?
Yeah,
so
cool.
it was just cool. An interesting convivial little atmosphere out in Pinehurst. I don't know. I enjoyed the party and I was meeting neighbors and meeting their dogs and stuff.
Yeah.
And people were sharing their pizza.
Cool.
Somebody was talking shit on potatoes on pizza. They're like, I don't know if I would like that. And I was like, I think it's good.
Like super thinly sliced.
More for us.
So
thin and crispy. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
I like that a lot too. Mio Posto has a great potato pizza. It's called con patate.
That sounds great. I also like that pear slice that I had at De Laurenti. I like pears. I like potatoes. I'm crazy. I'll eat anything on pizza. And then surprisingly, this isn't food, but I stopped at Schilling Cider House in Fremont on my way home, and I was just going to stop by and get some photos for my cider map that I've still not turned in for Eater Seattle. And I was like, I didn't have all my photos. Aforementioned, we have to take all our own photos or source them somehow, and I'm just like, I'm just going to stop by and get them myself. So I went in, and what I didn't realize is that it's also a bottle shop, and they have over 200 ciders from other producers. So they have ciders from all over the U.S., from Chile, from France, like all kinds of stuff. So I ended up going shopping, and I bought myself a bunch of presents.
Nice.
Although I bought all local stuff. They had Son of Man, aforementioned, which is Cascade Locks, Oregon, which is Hood River area. I got an Alpenfire from Port Townsend, which was very, very good. It was apple blackberry, but it kind of had like a bourbon barrel flavor to it. I got a Greenwood cider company that I haven't opened yet, but I've tried a couple of those. They're in Inner Bay. They're right by you, actually. And then I just sat at the counter and tried the Schillings and tried the stuff that they had on tap. I think I tried 3 different, I don't know. I just had a good party by myself at Schilling Cider House and brought home 7 ciders and had 3.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was treating myself, but I didn't think I was going to stay. I thought I was going to go in and take a picture, and I was like, oh, they have all this stuff. So that was a fun party. What happened is I took photos of all the ciders that I spotted, and then I was tagging them on Instagram, and Greenwood Cider Company reached out, and they're like, hey, we don't have a tap room, but do you want to come by and tour the works sometime? So I was going to go the next day, and I didn't have time, but I really want to link up with them because I really, really like their stuff at Greenwood Cider Company.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow, that thing you said about getting a picture to provide for the map reminded me of when I was at Master Bing. I took some photos of the John Bing, and it's really not photogenic.
Yeah.
It's crêpe-like, so it doesn't hold its form very well.
Yeah.
And so it's got a little droopy, floppy. It tastes great, but it's just not photogenic. But I sent them to Harry nonetheless. I just like, hey, this isn't a very photographable dish, but just so you know I was there, here's the photos. And then he ended up using one. I thought,
oh man, he doesn't care.
Yeah, it's fine.
All respect to Harry and Eater, but he doesn't care. He'll just, you got to put something up. So here it is. This is what we have.
Yeah.
Shall we wrap up? We've got plugs. Did we write anything? You have an event coming up, yeah?
Oh yeah.
We do have an event. It's our first kind of big event at our space.
Okay, great.
It's a collaboration with Jason Stoneburner of Stoneburner Restaurant in Ballard.
Okay. Heard of him?
Yeah.
And
he is very excited. We are very excited. So we're going to be doing, it's us and Moxie Mule making
cool.
vermouth Amaro like cocktails.
Moxie Mule
and just
of 40
focusing on
Acres
that.
Blending.
Yeah. And then Chef Stoneburner is going to be doing Roman Street Eats and also finding a way to spin vintage Italian disco vinyl.
Good.
Oh, fun.
I like it.
Yeah. So our hands are going to be full, but it's going to be fantastic and so much fun. Yeah.
Have you seen any of the menu he's planning yet?
He's told us about
rattled it off. Yeah.
And it is listed on our website where you can buy tickets and all the information, the menu.
Yeah.
what the Roman Street Eats are going to be.
I think there's like 6 more tickets.
Yeah. Did you say what date it is happening on?
Saturday,
14th.
June 14th.
Okay.
Yes, from 6 to finito.
Yeah, 6 till 8.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Let's get those tickets sold.
Yeah, the last of the tickets will go pretty quickly, so don't sleep on it. Yeah, it'll be really fun. We're going to deck out the space and get some cocktail tables in there.
Their space is so cute, folks.
Yeah,
for listeners.
Be really fun.
You'd never know it was in there, and once you know that's in there, like you think about it all the time when you drive by, you're like, there's a cute little thing in that warehouse. Like it's just a delight.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a fun secret to know about.
What are you working on, Meg?
Goddamn cider map.
Yeah.
It's not even a map it's a cider road trip. It's a guide to Washington State cideries, and there are so many of them.
Yeah.
And I keep thinking of more I want to add. I mean, I was like, the point originally was, wow, there's so many cideries, I should make a guide. And there are too many, and it's a very long story. And I got into the whole history of apples originating in Kazakhstan and how they got to the New World.
That's
and
a deep dive.
I need to cut a lot of that history of apples, but it's interesting to me how it got to the West Coast from the Midwest, from the East Coast, from England, through the Romans brought it to England via the Balkans, etc. But they originated in the mountains of Western China and Eastern Kazakhstan. So I got pretty deep on that, and I need to slash it. But also there's about 100 cideries that I would include if I could. So I will turn that in tonight. I swear to fucking God. That's what I'm working on.
All right. Well, look for that next week, everyone.
Yeah. I think that's all that I'm working on right now.
Yeah. I'm working on an update to the seafood map for Eater Seattle.
Great.
That's another frequently updated one.
Nice.
So I'm going to try to get some, I don't know, ideally some places that you wouldn't exactly think about right off the bat, when you think about seafood restaurants. But I also want to try to represent as much local seafood as possible too. So
like
a needle
weather vane scallops. Is that local? Because it's Alaska, right?
It's Alaska. I mean, it's like
weather vanes
local-ish.
Ish-esque.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm supposed to do restaurants with views also update for Eater.
Oh, interesting.
But I haven't started on it yet.
Yeah. How do you feel about that one?
I know the ones I like. There's a lot of restaurants in the world that don't try because they have a view.
Exactly.
So I'm not going to include them.
Yeah. I mean,
because I don't want to send people there to a place that doesn't have good food.
It makes it frustrating.
Yeah.
And you got there and you're like, oh, it's so beautiful. And like,
that's all they have.
Yeah. we know a really good one.
Yeah. What do you know?
There's one on Chuckanut Drive.
Oh yeah. It's supposed to be Seattle, but I will do an honorable mention sometimes. Yeah. It's okay. Well,
what's the name of the place?
What's the name of it? Just for people to know.
It's the oyster something or other.
Oyster House?
The Oyster House.
The Oyster Mountain.
It's right next door to Taylor.
Oh, okay.
Like right out there on Chuckanut.
All right.
Okay, great.
Cool.
You drive right past it to get to Taylor.
Yeah.
And it kind of looks like it wouldn't really be much. But when you go inside, I mean, the view is stunning.
Okay.
And you're like, oh, this might just be kind of mediocre. Like, I have a view restaurant.
That's good to know about, but the food's good.
Food's really good.
Okay.
We've
Good to
eaten there
know.
a couple times.
Oh, I wanted very quickly to mention
The Oyster Bar.
The Oyster Bar.
All right.
I want to mention quickly that I am meeting for the Stranger Genius Awards this week, and we're including food. And I know who I want to nominate. I don't get to choose. I just get to vote and nominate people. But if this is a dangerous request, if anyone has someone in mind who's just a fucking food genius that they think I have not thought of, feel free to comment, because I'm terrified I'm going to leave somebody out.
Yeah, right?
This is always my worry.
Genius?
Just like it's the Genius Awards. The Stranger will give awards. They took a hiatus during COVID, and it's back now, and they're adding food as a category. So it's just someone who's totally inspired, who's doing something that no one else would have thought of, completely innovative, delicious, amazing, stunning project. And it can be music, theater, film. I don't remember the other 2 categories, but now we're doing food as well. So I'm on the board. Michael Wong from Asian Verified is on the board, a few other people too. So
yeah, that's rad.
We're just casting our votes. It's prelim right now. Again, dangerous to ask people to be like, hey, who do you think I should nominate?
Sure.
But also then maybe we'll get more comments than usual.
Yeah.
Get her.
I'm sure you will.
Yeah.
Yes.
So all of you listeners at home, comment.
I mean, that's the thing. I wonder if people understand this, but when we work on things like this, be it like nominating someone for an award or even like developing a map, like we're always thinking about like, oh, who are we forgetting? Like, let's not forget the
terrified
great,
I'm going to forget the biggest genius in the world.
Yeah. So we care about that very much.
I care about it.
They take it seriously, everyone out there. So.
Yeah.
I want the good people to get recognized.
Yeah,
Don't
for
say
sure.
like your dad or something like that.
Yeah. Well, people will be like, what about me? Have you considered me?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I
that's such a
expect
thing.
that, but I'd rather get 90 of those and one person pointing out a true genius I had overlooked versus none at all. So
For sure.
I think that'll do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, Joey and Gillian. This was really fun. I enjoyed our chat.
You feel good about it?
I feel good. Do you feel
So
good? How
do you guys feel good about it?
I feel
I
good
gotta
about
pee,
it.
but other than that,
We better end it
Well,
there.
let's let Gillian pee.
All right. Who do we have next week?
Well, I think we have Gray Kaufman.
Amazing.
If we've confirmed that.
We have.
Okay, good, great.
Yeah, Greg Kaufman is a barista formerly of Cafe Vita. Maybe I should mention that.
Yeah,
They were competing in the National Barista Championships.
Yeah,
So-
coffee genius.
Yes,
pretty much.
a coffee genius.
Yeah.
you're genius.
And we will talk to them next week.
Yeah, that will
Amazing.
be our first coffee guest, which I'm really
Yeah,
excited about.
me too.
Yeah.
All right, we'll chat next week. Bye, folks.
Thanks so much for having us.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, guys.